Hello, I'm Lauren Robel, Executive Vice President of Indiana University and Provost of our Bloomington campus. Congratulations to the Institute for International Business on its 10th anniversary. Indiana University is committed to global partnerships, and we believe in the power of global engagement to further public diplomacy. Therefore, I'm delighted to join you for this kickoff of the Kelley Worldwide Roundtable, a series that will serve as a model for productive global dialogue on some of the most pressing issues facing us today. This year's topic reaffirms the importance of global connectedness during periods of disruption and reflects the critical and ongoing need for thoughtful and cooperative cross-cultural exchange. In our highly connected world, businesses, systems, products, processes, and ideas know no borders. In a global crisis, our border-spanning partnerships are key to stability and continued progress. The pandemic we face is a testament to how interconnected we all are. We don't have to look much further than our own campus to witness how networks of support, communication, and encouragement stabilize both individuals and larger groups. In times of disruption, when plans and projects and lives are taken off course, these networks provide a framework on which to lean and ideas on which to draw. The pressures we face due to the pandemic are so extraordinary that we have to place a sharp focus on solving them together. I commend the Institute for International Business for leading the Kelley Worldwide Roundtable. At IU Bloomington, we remain committed to graduating students who are citizens of the world and who know the importance of connecting with one another through important conversations precisely like this one. Students from every inhabited continent travel to our campus to study, while thousands of our own students study abroad in a vast range of programs and across disciplines. We teach some 80 languages, more than any other university in the United States, and we organize regular events and showcases for our students the arts, ideas, and foods and traditions of cultures across the world. In immersing our students in diverse intellectual and cultural life, our goal is to graduate students who continue to learn across cultures and who celebrate difference and are informed by it. The Kelley School of Business shines bright in international education and actively reimagines how global business operates at its most optimal level. The Institute for International Business has connected Kelley's phenomenal creativity, energy, and people with the larger world. In true Kelley fashion, through the Kelley Worldwide Roundtable, it is forging a better pathway for us now. I want to congratulate the Institute on behalf of our entire campus on their 10th anniversary. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to join you today, virtually, to welcome you to this roundtable event. Its goal is to explore the importance of global connectedness during this period of such intense disruption of our society and our economy. The pandemic has reinforced something we already know, which is that addressing the most challenging issues of our time requires collaboration across countries and cultures, and requires the kind of innovation and creativity that are often sparked by bringing together multiple sources of expertise and multiple perspectives. For businesses worldwide, as for universities worldwide, it is critical at this moment to expand the channels of communication and engagement that promote the open exchange of ideas across borders. In that connection, I'm delighted that IU's Global Gateway offices have been able to play a role in supporting this event. The Gateway Network was designed to give IU a permanent presence in other regions of the world, bringing us closer to our academic partners, industry partners, and alumni to facilitate exactly this kind of durable cross-border engagement. The network was established just 6 years ago and now has offices in Bangkok, Beijing, Berlin, Mexico City, and New Delhi. And I'd like to thank the office directors who worked on this event. Today is also, of course, a celebration of global connectedness on the occasion of the Institute for International Business's 10th anniversary. In the same way that the Global Gateway offices connect IU with the world, the IIB connects the Kelley School of Business with the world through work to solve development challenges in emerging markets, always working in collaboration with local partners, through training programs in entrepreneurship and skills that build the capacity of individuals, businesses, and communities in developing countries, and through its educational programs here in the United States that provide international and intercultural learning opportunities to students in high school and beyond. The Institute's work models the kind of mutual engagement that will help us confront and address change at the scale that we're experiencing today. So, congratulations to the Institute for International Business, to Dean Heidi Kestner, to Executive Director Levon Schlegel and her team on this 10th anniversary. And thanks to all of you for coming together today to think about where we are and how we move forward together.
Hello from Bloomington. I'm Heidi Kestner, Dean of the Kelley School of Business. Thank you for participating in this important roundtable discussion and for helping us celebrate 10 years of the Institute for International Business, or as we refer to it, IIB. The IIB has a special significance to me, not just because I'm the Dean of Kelley, but I helped create the Institute 10 years ago. Our goal was to transform lives, organizations, and communities by nurturing partnerships and dreams, by building entrepreneurial knowledge in communities, and by creating momentum in emerging and developing markets. It's been wonderful to watch the IIB establish, foster, and grow new relationships and enterprises, particularly among women and young people, and in the areas where hope and progress are needed most. Through the years, we've watched Kelley's footprint expand around the globe. As examples, in Myanmar, our ADEPT program created training centers and strengthened faculty and curricula at Yangon University of Economics. In Bethlehem, we helped launch 13 startup companies and trained more than 1,600 people in our business incubator. In Barbados, a partnership with the Cave Hill School of Business helped provide critical training to combat growing social and economic issues. I may be most proud of our Global Business Institute, or GBI. Through GBI, the partnership with Coca-Cola Company, we inspired nearly 600 young people in the Middle East and North Africa. These students hungered to know more about business and entrepreneurship, and they showed a willingness to push themselves and others towards something better. You can actually see the transformation in these students during their time in Bloomington and other locations in the U.S. They realized their dreams and ideas could be developed into viable businesses and projects that could lead to real change in their communities back home. The results? More than 160 small businesses were created that employed nearly 800 people. More than 160 participants in the program went on to earn scholarships for further study. And 95% of the students were employed within 3 months of graduating from college. Those are the statistics, but the real impact is immeasurable. IIB is also home to the Center for International Business Education and Research, or CIBER, which helps businesses in the U.S. compete successfully in the global marketplace. We're one of 15 national centers that are funded by the U.S. Department of Education. We manage funds for faculty development, internships, improving language skills, mentoring, and experiential learning. Over these 10 years, we've made many connections. But the word connections doesn't convey the fact that what we've really done is establish friendships. We built bridges between countries, fostered understanding, and created trusting, long-lasting relationships. We built empathy. One young participant in GBI said, "You don't just learn about business, you learn about people." While I had a hand in creating the IIB, there's no disputing that Levon Schlegel is the heart and soul of the Institute. I can't imagine anyone else working as tirelessly and with as much determination and purpose as she has over the last 10 years. Her commitment to bring people together and transform lives, that continues to be realized. Even so, the pandemic means we must become more nimble and innovative in our efforts. Of course, Lavon has had a lot of enthusiastic help over the years. In the early days of IIB, Sean Connor and Fred Perry played key roles. And while they moved on to other important things at the university and in the world, we're grateful for those early efforts. And then we have our current staff, some of whom have been here since the beginning. Christine Everett, Suzanne Lodato, Jeff Poland, Tim Smith, Trina Chandler, Ryan Craven, and Amanda Wood. To all of you, please accept my sincere gratitude. Your dedication is inspiring, and I like to think we've helped create a more connected world with your bigger and bolder ideas. To all of you joining in, thank you for being with us for this event. We're honored you've chosen to spend time with us. I'm very proud of IIB's diligent work and accomplishments. But there's still more work to be done. So this is a working celebration. I urge you to keep the conversation going long after the discussion and celebration ends. Get involved. Help us write more chapters for this ongoing global story. Help us continue to create momentum around the world and right here at Indiana University through our international efforts. Thank you and enjoy the program.
So good morning and welcome to the Indiana University Kelley School of Business Worldwide Roundtable. My name is Lavon Schlegel, and I'm the Executive Director of the Institute for International Business, or IIB as we're more casually known. It's my honor to follow such distinguished speakers as Provost Lauren Rebel, Vice President Hannah Buxbaum, and Dean Heidi Kessner on this most auspicious day, and I thank them for such a great beginning to our inaugural event in celebration of IIB's 10th anniversary. And thank you all for joining us this morning as we begin the second of our 4 global panels, all taking place today to discuss the importance of global connectedness during disruption and beyond. You are among the almost 600 registrants to these 4 events. And as you can imagine, it took a global team to put this together successfully. I would like to thank Jen Goyens and Allison DeWitt from the Kelley School Alumni Association, Roy Hooper from the IU Alumni Association, Molly Fisher and Lucero Gillian from the IU Gateway in Mexico, Ana Lilia Silva, a KSBAA alumna, Ali Batten, director of the IU Global Gateways, Rob Clindening and Rebecca Salerno from Kelley Marketing, the Provost Office and the Office of the Vice President for International Affairs, Zach Watt and Brian Boucher from the Kelley Learning Media team. And finally, I would like to thank Tim Smith from IIB, without whom this project would not have happened. During the past decade, IIB has been in the world working to bring people together with new thoughts, new ideas, new skills, and new relationships, always in hope of creating momentum for change. Reflecting back on these years, I am especially grateful that I attended IU as an undergrad student in the very early 1980s, for it was during this time I had the great privilege of knowing Chancellor Herman Wells through the work I did with a student organization. As a farm kid from Indiana, the chancellor encouraged me to go beyond what I knew, beyond my comfort zone, to experience the world for all of its possibilities and challenges. His words have encouraged me throughout my career, bringing me to today, to this event. I know that Chancellor Wells would be proud of what we've accomplished, but he would ask us in the very next breath, what's next? What's next in our work on the global stage? What's next in creating and maintaining the global relationships that have moved business forward with such velocity in the past 20 years? What's next for making sure that we all have a chance to learn and grow from our relationship with partners and friends around the world to build something better? And along with the what's next, we must also look to the how. How do we do it together? Because it is this sharing between nations, between businesses, and between people where the best ideas and the best solutions are born. So it is no small task that we have asked you all to participate in today. Our moderator and panel will tackle some of these questions head on, sharing their ideas, experiences, and hopes. And in the breakout sessions, we look to all of you here today to share your ideas and actions for keeping your global network active and engaged during this amazing period of disruption. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce today's moderator, Patricia Volpi. Patricia's career is a unique combination of experiences in telecom, financial services, consulting, and human resources in both the USA and Brazil. Patricia is founding partner with Prosperita Talent and leads Prosperita's executive search initiatives, which specializes in international MBA recruiting and top talent search projects for middle and top management positions. She also leads recruitment and selection processes for clients in various segments, including ICT, energy, retail, strategic consultancy, financial services, startups, among others. Patricia leverages her significant experience and versatility in several sectors to serve companies and professionals in a myriad of areas, including coaching, mentoring, consulting, training, and teaching. She earned her undergraduate degree in economics from Mackenzie University in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and a postgraduate in marketing from ESPM. She then traveled to the US and earned her MBA from the Kelley School of Business at Indiana University. In addition, she holds international certifications in life and executive coaching, DISC assessment, and soft skills analysis. Please join me in welcoming as today's moderator, Patricia Volpi.
Hello, Levon. Thank you so much for your kind words and introductions. I also want to take advantage of this time and thank Tim Smith, Molly as well, and Ana Lilia. It's a pleasure to see you all here. Well, I would like to start to introduce you to our amazing panelists. You're going to see we have an amazing group of IU alumni. So if you can help me welcome Fabia Teteru Bueno. Fabia was born in Brazil and she holds a degree in foreign trade from São Paulo Methodist University. She serves as the CEO and General Manager for Philips Latin America since March 2020. She recently completed 23 years of active professional career at Philips, and she has held several senior positions in general management in sales and marketing. Her background is a mix of B2C and B2B in various areas of Philips in the Netherlands, China, Germany, Philippines, and in the past 4 years in Latin America. Fabia was also held the position of country manager in the Philippines. So please welcome Fabia.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you. Also, please welcome Luis Niño de Rivera. Luis is the chairman of the board of directors of Banco Azteca and chairman of the board of directors of the Association of Mexican Banks, AMB. He's also a member of the board of directors of Banco Azteca in Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, and Peru. From 2002 until his election as the chairman of the AMB, he was the spokesperson of Grupo Salinas. He's a member of the board of directors of the Bankers Club in Mexico, and he was 5 times vice chairman of the Association of the Mexican Banks from 1998 until 2018. He has worked in the financial services sector for the past 45 years and a founder of Banco Azteca in Mexico, Panama, Guatemala, Honduras, and Peru. Mr. Niño de Rivera holds a Bachelor of Science degree in business from Indiana University and a master's in international business and international politics from New York University. Hello, Luis. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Good morning.
Morning. So now we are going to meet Liana Camacho. Liana was born in New Jersey and moved to Puerto Rico at the age of 3. She went to earn her bachelor's in marketing from Georgetown University, and then she got her MBA at the Kelley School of Business. After earning her degree in marketing and strategy, she participated in the Johnson & Johnson International Recruitment and Development Program and has an amazing career at J&J. Today, Liana is leading multifunctional and multinational teams through her role as the Professional Products Division Director for L'Oréal Caribbean. Hello, Liana.
Hi, great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And last but not least, our president for the Mexico IU Alumni Chapter, Peter Cattersfield. Peter is the Chief Operations Officer LATAM at Invernergy. It's an American renewable energy developer, where he oversees the operations of the Latin America fleet in Mexico, Colombia, and Uruguay. Prior to his current role, Peter led the services unit for Gamesa LATAM. Peter has earned his undergrad degree from the Kelley School of Business and Finance, and he completed his MBA in International Business from the Thunderbird School of Management. Hello, Peter. I believe
Good morning, and thank you.
Hey, good morning.
Buenos días.
Buenos días, bon dia, good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us today. I'm sure you're going to be amazed by all the background experiences and insights our panelists here will be sharing with you. So the topic that we have today is discuss the importance of our connectedness and the challenges and the disruptions that we are facing in our local communities. So I would like to first ask you all, and I'm going to call your names by my views over here, but I'd like you to answer, how has this changed the way you do business? You know, so much has happened. Luis, if I can start with you, you were the first one here for me.
Thank you so much. Well, in the financial services industry, we have a dual role to play. One, which is with a great network of branches around the country and different countries, that we must keep open. Even in the middle of the pandemic, we must serve our clients. And that is a very big challenge, because you need to make sure that your employees are safe and that your clients are safe. And you can't let everybody in the branch at the same time. So we've had a very difficult time having long lines outside the branch, out in the middle of the street, and that has been a difficult time to deal with. From the corporate headquarters, we have had to change many things as to how we connect and communicate. This kind of platform has obviously been very valuable, but we can't send everybody home to do work from afar because we don't have the infrastructure built yet. You need telecommunications, you need cybersecurity, you need the proper environment at home to be able to work, because children are also there doing homeschool as well. So it's been a challenge, and we're all working to learn how to change our way of doing business. How do we offer our clients a better experience? And how do we continue in the path of building a more integrated financial system?
Thank you, Luis. We are facing the same issues here in Brazil as well. Peter, you were next here for me. Please share a little bit with us how this has impacted your business.
It's been very disruptive for us, Patricia. In energy generation, we are considered essential. We are essential workers and an essential industry to all economies. And so as the operations officer, it is my main objective to make sure that our operations continue, and they continue safely. We have several wind farms, solar projects, and thermal projects scattered throughout Latin America. We've had different government levels of government support They send different messages. Some of them believe that this is a passing fad. Some of them are very strict. And so we've had to unify that message. And when you build policies to protect workers and to continue the generation of energy, it becomes very unifying, and it crosses borders. And so the great things that have happened to us is that it has increased our communications on a global scale. And we've been able to put in a tremendous infrastructure to conduct Zoom meetings and chats that we didn't do before, and stay connected with our workers across the different platforms and different countries where they're working today. But it has not been without a challenge. The month of April and May were very difficult for us. We suffered tremendous amounts of sickness with our workers. We didn't have the knowledge or infrastructure that we have today. And so we've learned to adapt. But we're looking towards moving forward and implementing our policies across the board when the next disruption comes in place.
Perfect. Yeah, I think we're facing again just the same things, and it's probably a no joke now that it was not the CTO or the CDO, the HR that brought the digital transformation. It was the pandemic, it was the COVID that we are all forced to go online, to work remote, and break a lot of paradigms that we had before. So thank you for sharing. Liana, please. Share a little bit with us how this changed the way you do business.
Sure. There's so many differences, right? So to summarize it, I'll do my best. From a business standpoint in beauty, obviously a lot of priority shifts in terms of what segments are the strongest. Cosmetics obviously has taken a huge hit. People are wearing masks, they're going out less. And that's usually the money driver within beauty and within L'Oreal, right? But other segments have seen great growth, which they haven't before, such as skincare, also hair care. Hair color has it's been a shift in channels, but we're seeing the professional channel, which is the one I oversee, ramp up as people return to the salons. But we really have had to hone in on and shift priorities, right, in terms of what we had planned for the year versus what we're actually rolling out. Also shifting in priorities and where to invest. We've had to rapidly invest in e-commerce and CRMs and different platforms to make sure we're connected and pushing product through channels. Not that this wasn't a part of the business, but in a region like Latin America or Caribbean, which maybe they're not at the forefront, such as North America or Asia when it comes to e-commerce, we've really had to put a foot on the gas pedal, right? And really, again, shift priorities and financials. And the third point I would mention is really leadership in terms of how you lead the teams. I was very, very fortunate to come into this pandemic with a very strong and cohesive team. There was a lot of trust. So really, as we shifted and having gone through other tumultuous times, for example, Hurricane Maria 3 years ago, we had already tested our resilience, and this was just another opportunity to do so. And as a leader, really be conscientious about how differently people react with these changes. So what worked for team members as a group and individually prior and working from the office or traveling with customers, as we shifted into this whole new arena, I really had to understand what was working or not working for my team members and the people that reported into them as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing, Liana. It was really interesting the way you structure it. Thank you so much. Fabia, nice meeting you.
Hi, nice being here. Thank you so much for the invite.
Thank you. Please share a little bit with us how you have faced and how it impacted your business.
Well, we have 3,000 people throughout Latin America, and I started 1st of March in this role, and 1 week later I heard that we had to close all the offices and the factories, and it was a bit hectic. So I must say the first month and a half was very much crisis management. We had more than 200 people traveling that we had to bring home. The factories had to close also, and also the offices. So the first month and a half was a lot of crisis management, ensuring that our team was safe. So we called the triple duty of care: make sure the teams were safe, the customers were served, but also that we already prepared for the continuity post the big moment of crisis, right? So the factories were the first ones that we, after some weeks, managed to open. We have a factory in Brazil and in Costa Rica. We have two businesses. One is a business that's more consumer business, and the other is a medical business. So we were used to already work some days a week from home. So I think that part for us was very easy to go for, instead of 1 or 2 days a week working from home, to go for 5. That was not the biggest issue. The biggest issue for us was the people that had to go to the factory and the people that had to go visit the hospitals to make sure that they were being taken care and safe, so they did their job without getting contaminated. So I think that that was the first focus. And afterwards, what we have been doing is basically creating new ways of working from the distance. So what you see now is that our teams have engagements with customers online breakfasts, online events. The good thing is that we were already doing a lot of e-commerce. So for us, it was very easy to just scale up on the consumer side. But now what we are seeing is that the e-commerce for the business to business side, that everybody always said hospitals are never going to buy ultrasounds online. We see that happening. So events that used to be like 40,000 people events in a very big hall now are happening online. So I think that the biggest change for us were indeed ensure that the business to business part of the work became more online, as the consumer part of the work was already. So the disruption for us was more in the B2B than in the B2C. And I think that now we are going back to, we are getting to a phase where we are starting to go back to the new normal, whether you like it or not, the name, but it's a different normal, because now we learned to work more online. So I think what we are seeing is that we are going to meet each other only really when we need to have group things. So we are calling the club and hub mindset. You go to a customer or to the office only really when you need to have this kind of group engagement, but everything else, what you can do alone in the office or one-to-one, you can still keep doing from home. So yeah, I think these are the key things that change it to us. The movement of the B2B more into digital, and the new ways of working where we engage more as groups face-to-face and keep the online and the home office when it's like a one-to-one engagement. So this is the biggest change we see.
Right. Fabio, let me continue with you since we are talking here. You just mentioned served in the first phase when we were just reacting to everything that was happening. What kind of support tools you have provided to your teams, maybe as technology, different types of benefits, anything regarding social or health or mental wellness? What changes?
It's a very interesting one, because before I worked in the Philippines, and in the Philippines I had in average 30 typhoons a year. So I managed to put a crisis committee very quickly because I had this experience, right? So actually I was helping other colleagues from other markets to set that quickly because I was used to crisis management. And I must say that I have a security and health and safety person very strong that helped me to put this all together. When we started, as I said, the first thing was ensure that everybody was safe at home. They had internet, they had, so it switches benefits, right? So instead of having the benefit of the transport, you got that benefit to be transferred to the internet. So we basically did that. And then the second things we did was to return everybody home. We had 222 people traveling when it started. So I had to recreate everybody on time. Actually, we had a problem with 2 people because we could not get their flights. So they got stuck for 2 months in Dominican Republic. And it was very sad because one of them, his first child was born in this period. So he missed the birth of his first child. So you see like the personal things start getting in, right? And then what, so this was the first thing. Then the second thing that was the biggest difficulty for us was to get all the PPE, all the safety materials, because there was a shortage. So we started getting places where there was a lot more, like Brazil, and they start distributing around. And then the third thing was we need to keep close to the teams. So we started a weekly calls, one in Portuguese, one in Spanish, where we have external people for half an hour just coming and talking to the team. And we are still doing that. Now we reduce the frequency. Now it's every 2 weeks, but there's always someone external to talk to them about something that's not directly work related. So we had a yoga teacher, we had a home financial advisor, because a lot of people, someone in their family lost job. We had a doctor to talk about alcohol and drugs abuse. We had a doctor to talk about virus. We had a doctor, a psychologist to talk about mental health. We had a mindfulness coach. So what we try to do is not only the hard part of the work, but also the mental part of the keeping close to the teams. And I think, to be very honest, we were going in a good mood. People are getting the mood back. And now that people are seeing the second wave in Europe, we see the mood going down again. So you see that people are a little bit down. So we are going to re-emphasize the mental part again. But that's what we try to do. So not only the, let's say, the practical part of the work, the safety materials, the flights, but also the mental part. We try to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Luis, I
you.
know that, thank you. Luis, I know that probably for the bank industry, you just mentioned a little bit about the security issue. So regarding all these probably support tools that you have provided, can you share a little bit more on your scenario, on your industry? How did you plan? What happened early on?
Well, certainly, banking is a conglomerate of different kinds of businesses. For instance, everything we do trading in the markets and moving money around, you have to be connected to the market systems and to other banks and to the central bank. So you can't move people outside of that environment, which is built obviously in our offices. You can't send them home, otherwise they couldn't trade in the markets. And this is an activity that goes on practically 24 hours a day, depending on the positions you take in foreign exchange or in different financial instruments. So on the one hand, you must keep all your systems up and running and make sure all your backup in communication and technology is there, so your operation in the bank is fine. Then we have monitoring of all our transactions and our telecommunications. We have 1,800 branches around the country and we serve 15 million clients. So it takes a lot of effort to make sure that everybody's up and running adequately every day, every minute of the day. And then you must make sure that everybody's healthy, that they understand what preventing any health issue is all about, and what to do if they do get infected, and what kind of support we provide for them with the best medical care, so that all the employees can feel comfortable enough that we have the proper conditions at work, and that if anything happens, they will be immediately taken care of. But then you have the other side of the business, which is the clientele. And when you have 15 million people knocking on your door every day from 9 in the morning to 9 at night, and our bank is connected to a retail chain. We have an equal number of stores where we sell appliances and cell phones and motorcycles and a number of other bits of merchandise. And a lot of it is done through credit from the bank. So we work together in the bank and the stores. And having people come in and out of the branches and the stores is also an issue. So you must make sure that everybody is safe from a health condition and not let anybody in that doesn't look adequately as far as temperature and as far as using a cover for their mouth and nose and so forth. But then you have other activities in the business that can be done from home, and deciding who can stay at home and who must come to work, and who can do both, part-time at home, part-time at the office. It's a challenging scenario. All in all, in our group, in addition to the retail and banking industry, we have a television company. We have a telecommunications company that does optic fiber to homes and businesses. We have a renewable energy division. And altogether, we have 110,000 employees. So taking care of that and operating in 6 different countries is quite a challenge. You have rules in each country that are very different. For instance, Panama and Peru had complete lockdowns, while Guatemala and Honduras were a little more lenient, and Mexico even more so. So you must adjust and adapt with your employees, your clients, and local regulation to be able to run your business adequately and face the crisis management that Fabia has clearly pointed out. It's constant change and constant challenge of things you never knew before. We've never had this condition in the past. We've had economic crisis back and forth, time and again in Latin America for the past 25 years, but never like this, never self-imposed or self-inflicted, and never as a problem related to health issues rather than to economic issues. So suddenly we're all collapsing economically, but trying to survive health-wise. And that is a major challenge that it's going to be here for quite a long time.
Yes, thank you so much. Luis, let me ask you something. Fabio was just talking about this new normal, right? And what we are going to keep and what we want to change. And we have not predicted, of course, everything that's happening right now. But if you can share with us, what do you think the work will be like in your organization, in your industry, in banking? What do you believe it's going to change? What do you believe people want to keep previous to the pandemic, and what people will want to change?
Well, prior to the pandemic in the banking industry, we were very proud of moving relatively quickly from the analogic world or the physical world to the digital world. Now we have apps in your cell phone that you can do anything that was normally done at a branch physically. Now you can do it from the cell phone, except deliver or take cash from the teller window. But everything else can be done. You can open accounts, you can do money transfers, paying services, paying your credits and saving money, whatever you want. That has increased in velocity. We're speeding up something that we thought we could move relatively quickly, but not as much as it's happening today. So the new normal we invent every day. We have to create the conditions responding to what the environment is telling you as far as health and business, what clients want, where they now do their shopping, where they do their entertainment, where they do their financial management, how they deal with their own condition as far as work, travel, nourish themselves, keep healthy. So we really don't know what the new normal is going to look like because we're creating it every day. And it's going to take a long time before we can say, this is the new normal. The pandemic is far from over. And therefore the economic impact of things that are re-happening, for instance, Europe thought they had gone through the first contagious moment. Now they're going back to a closing of the economy. That is going to have severe consequences for many people and many businesses and for international trade. Industries like tourism are going to be affected for a long time. Hotels, airlines, restaurants, it's going to be very tough. And I'm sure many companies are not going to survive and others are going to thrive in this environment. And we have yet to see that happen. It's very difficult right now to try to say this is the new normal. At least I wouldn't dare to say that yet.
Well, we are the ones that we are building the new normal, right? So it's really up to us and our actions, our decisions, what's going to look like. And we are building this to our children, right? They are the ones that are going to, right, work and thrive in the business. Thank you so much, Luis. Luis, is there anything else? I know you have some time constraint. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us at this point? I would love to hear from you.
Well, thank you so much. I just want to thank Lavon Schlegel, Tim Smith, and Dean Heidi Kessner for the invitation on this Worldwide Roundtable. Thank all the panelists that are here. I think they are wonderful people and have added a lot of insight and good experience on what's happening around the world. And I want to thank you, Patricia, for conducting this. This has been a wonderful opportunity. I'm sorry I have to run, but it's a pleasure being part of the 10th anniversary of the Institute for International Business. Thank you all and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Luis. It's my pleasure. And thanks for the technology as well, and for Tim's invitation and Lavon to meet you virtually at least.
Thank you.
You. Have a nice day. Peter, let me get back to you here. Peter, share with us a little bit, since we were just talking to Luis about what the future of work looks like in the organization. Here we are talking a lot about, just thinking about the previous question, about mental wellness, you know, and all the concern that employees have on how to be engaged, how to stay healthy. What are your thoughts on this? You know, what do you believe that we will be changing as we look ahead, as we are planning for this return in our offices? How do you see this is going to happen in your industry or in your organization?
I tell you, I think it's going to be difficult to go back to business as usual. I think a lot of people have gotten very accustomed to working at home. And when you work in a city of 23 million people, driving to work can be an adventure every day. You don't know if it's going to take you 15 minutes or if it's going to take you 2 hours. And so working from home has had a definite impact in efficiency. People are available. They are in front of their computer. They're ready to work from early till late. That said, it's also very invasive. I find that people are working more, myself included. I don't have time to go to the restroom because I have back-to-back meetings or overlapping meetings all the time. And so there has to be some restraints put in place. And what I tell the folks with us, that I believe that remote working is going to be here with us for many years, if not forever. Mm-hmm. We need to learn to adapt and work with that. And you need to focus also on your well-being. And that includes exercise, proper diet. You need to take these initiatives. And so at Invenergy, we've also done those same types of practices that I've heard, where we've had specialists in yoga, in mental health, give seminars and exercise. One thing is the corporate office. The other thing is our remote operations. And our wind farms and our solar sites and thermal sites are typically not next door. They're not in Sao Paulo. They're not in San Juan and Puerto Rico. They are in remote rural locations. And so engaging those technicians in that who are living out in those remote locations is a challenge. They may not have the technical skill sets to get onto a Zoom. Well, they did at the beginning of the pandemic, but they do today. And so ensuring that they also have that same ability. Our work is physical. These people have to climb 100 meters in height to attend to a wind turbine. They have to be in shape, with or without the pandemic. And so we are monitoring them constantly for health concerns. They get tested weekly to verify that they are safe and healthy. And we monitor their families as well. And so I don't think that these things are totally going to change. On the contrary, I think remote working is here to stay. And I find it's good. I actually enjoy that. It makes us more productive. We spend less time in our cars or moving from point A to point B. And we're very effective. We hit the ground running, but you need to be able to manage that as well. You need to take care of yourself. You need to put a break in there. You need to block your Outlook calendar, which everybody can see, and take time for yourself. And so we need to learn to adapt. And that's what we're doing, basically. It's far from the normal, but I think you'll see that a lot of folks are going to be working from home indefinitely. I see a lot of new jobs. I think the transition from an office environment to a home office environment, a lot of companies are realizing maybe they're more productive working at home. You never know.
But yeah, if you mentioned one positive side, that is avoiding all that commute, and all the trouble when you have a long commute. But on the negative side, sometimes people are over-connected, and they sometimes are even making themselves available more hours because they're afraid of losing jobs, or because they have that need to stay connected and need that sense of belonging. And these are issues that HR is facing right now, how to keep that sense of belonging. How can I still be engaged? How can I still feel I'm part of this team? So we have, again, to think about this, the positive and negative impact. Liana, let me add you to this question here. What have you seen in your organization?
Yeah, it's a wonderful discussion that I'm one positive of this, what's happened is that we're bringing to the forefront more of these conversations about well-being and how to manage this. I echo Peter's comments. I don't think it will go away, but I also understand what you're saying. So really it's about striking that balance. How do you make sure the teams can have those opportunities to stay connected, but at the same time, not taking away from the flexibility and the agility to work from home or wherever you want to work from. I've always been a huge believer of this way before the pandemic. And now on the bright side, people are seeing that it can be done. Not every role, right? And not every day, but it can be done and taken to a productive way of working. I do think, to Peter's point in the well-being aspect, we really have to get better, and you mentioned it also, we have to get better at drawing boundaries, right? And for me, as a leader, as a coach, and a mentor, etc., it's been hard for me because I've always been good at, okay, I'll exercise or I'll do this, but really being conscientious and telling the team, you guys are used to having me 24/7. I'll be there, but I'll be there at these times unless there's something urgent. Because to Peter's point, there are days that I have been like, oh my goodness, I have not gone to the bathroom or taken a shower because it has been nonstop. And at one point I was like, this reminds me of when I have 2 young children. I was like, this reminds me of when I had the newborn phase, that I literally have not had time to breathe. And that a couple of days, even a week or two, but ongoing, that is so detrimental to everyone's mental and physical health. And at the end, it just leads to burnout and less productivity in the long run. So we really have to see this as a marathon. It's not a race, and manage our energy levels. And that will be different by person. So what I've tried to do with the team, we do have certain meetings on a weekly, bi-weekly basis that are mandatory. Others are voluntary if people want to connect and just throw ideas around. And we've been able to structure it so people feel that they have a place to connect. We even have voluntary exercise 3 times a week. We vary from HIIT to yoga, etc. So people feel like they do have a space for that, but it's not mandatory all the time because it can get over out of hand very quickly. The overlapping meetings on Outlook, as much as everyone has their Outlook up to date, it's just people start losing sight of that there has to be boundaries, even though we're not in the office. So very, very important. But again, I think it's wonderful that we're bringing this to the forefront. Also at L'Oreal, among similar to what has been mentioned that the company has done, we've been very conscientious about caretakers at a global, a national, and local level. For example, at our region, we had a program where we donated laptops or loaned laptops to families with kids in school. Not everyone can afford 1, 2 new laptops now the kids are doing school from home. Not all schools have the same resources. So how could we help our employees and make sure that at least they had that taken care of and that support? North America, even greater programs and financial support in terms of getting help, getting caregiving, etc. And that's all intertwined with the well-being, right? If you know that you're receiving support and caring for those you need to care for, then you'll be much more focused on what you need to do during the day.
Yeah, we definitely have our lessons learned from here, and we also have good things that we can take from this experience. We have like 2 minutes to finish the session, and after that we have some breakout rooms, and these are great discussions. I would love to have you on the breakout rooms as well, so we can continue on this conversation. But so just to close here, if you can just add, at least one good thing that you were taking away that is from this experience during those past 6 months. So Peter, one good thing that you're taking away.
I tell you, the great thing for me is having 3 meals a day with my family.
Oh, yes.
That nunca happens. But now I look at my son and he's like, hey, Dad, for dinner, for lunch.
Are you cooking some of those meals, Peter?
That part has been fantastic. And the connectivity, watching my wife, who is a school teacher, teaching 5th grade, and watching those children transition from face-to-face environment to watching them now navigate being taught virtually. Mis respetos. Total respect for teachers across the world who have faced that. And these children are coming out with some tremendous tools that they don't realize today, but they're going to be entering the workforce 10 years, 15 years from now. And so that adaptability has been phenomenal to watch.
Great, thank you so much. Fabia, can I just ask you to add one good thing at least you learned from this experience during this past 6 months?
I used to travel 1 week at home, 1 week traveling, because I am responsible from Mexico to Argentina. So I like also the personal side of being more at home. I like that very much, and the balance. You learn how much you can do online, right? People always say, no, you cannot do that online. Yeah, you can. So I think that is the biggest learning. But as a leader of a team, for me, is the drive that the people had is like, don't let the ball drop. We need to do our best, to give our best. And it's like, my team is surprising me every month. Every month they keep delivering, and I'm very proud of them because they didn't give up in the hardest time.
Great, thank you so much. Well, guys, I think it has been an hour. Oh my God, time just flew away. We are going to the breakout sessions soon. So I just would like to thank you all again. Molly, please, would you like to? I think you're on mute. Oh, okay, I can hear you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Peter, Fabio, Liana, thank you so much again.
Thank you. It's wonderful being here.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thanks for having us here.
A huge thanks to all of you for your participation. It's been wonderful to hear your comments and ideas around this crazy time that we're experiencing together, and a lot of really good advice. I couldn't agree more with the, staying healthy, staying fit as much as we can, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So with that being said, and on behalf of the IU Mexico Gateway and IIB, just a huge thanks to our panelists. And now we have time to come together again in smaller groups in our breakout rooms. And our friend Brian here is going to share those links with us. We hope that you, the panelists, will join us as well. And we have some great leaders for these breakout rooms to further the conversation with you, our audience.